Hello, welcome back to Indigo Smokes, Tarot and Astrology. This is an astrology interpretation video for Moon and Scorpio. What I'm going to say is based on what I've noticed in Moon and Scorpio individuals in my personal life, and also what I've researched about Moon and Scorpio individuals. So just a quick overview of what the Moon is and Scorpio energy by itself, being ruled by Pluto. So just in case someone is coming across this video and they don't really know much about astrology, signs, planets, etc., your moon sign is it's the energy that you come into this life with, that you incarnate with. It's your relationship with your mother. It's who you are at your core, what you need on a private, personal, emotional, spiritual level to feel safe, to feel nurtured, to feel nourished, to feel taken care of, to feel whole. It's the part of you that only people who are close to you get to see. It's how you receive and give love. To me, it represents like energy that you carry on a soul level. It's your instincts, your unconscious mind, the things that lurk in the dark, the part of you that surfaces when no one's looking. It represents your mother, your relationship with your mother, how you were as a child. Scorpio energy is ruled by it's technically not a planet, but the planet Pluto. And Pluto rules anything that is dark and messy and transformative and secrets and mystery and sex and death and anything that is intense and transformative. That is Pluto. Pluto is the energy that pulls things out from the depths. It is the depths. It rules criminals. It rules, psychology. It rules death. It rules taxes. That's Pluto energy. Anything sexual, anything dark, anything intense, anything transformative, anything that's a near-death experience, anything that is mysterious and occult-like and dark and intimidating, that is Pluto energy. And Scorpio embodies that energy perfectly. So with the moon being in Scorpio, it's in its fall. The moon is not comfortable here because while Scorpio is a water sign, it's not a gentle water sign. It's not like Cancer. It's not like, the moon. It's not like Pisces where it's like the ocean. It's hard. It's challenging. It's difficult. It's very intense. It's very uncomfortable. And it can be very unsettling for the moon to be here because the moon wants to feel safe. And the moon can have a hard time feeling safe in Scorpio, because that scorpionic plutonic energy, it brings up a lot of intense emotions. It causes a lot of tumultuous scenarios and situations to happen throughout a Moon and Scorpio individual's life. So it takes a while for them to get comfortable with their emotions and expressing their emotions and being vulnerable. So with that being said, Moon and Scorpio individuals, from what I've noticed personally, they tend to be very emotional, but they may not look like it on the surface. So still waters run deep is perfect for Scorpio because they're like, it's kind of like a volcano, or it's the tip of the iceberg. There's so much beneath that you do not see and you may never see unless that Scorpio individual trusts you. And even then, you can know a Moon and Scorpio person for years and even be close to them, and there'll still be some things that you don't know, because Moon and Scorpio individuals are very private. They can be very secretive. They can be very mysterious. They can be very guarded. That's how they maintain control. That's how they protect themselves. And yes, I'm gonna look down at my notes just so that I don't get too redundant in what I'm saying. So once again, they feel intensely, but they can hide it very, very well. Mind you, Scorpio, it has a hard shell like Cancer, and it also has a stinger, so its self-protective and self-defense mechanisms are on point. I want to get everything out before I get into the mother, because a lot of Moon and Scorpio individuals have a very intense and complicated relationship with their mother, and if it's not complicated, it's still intense, for better or for worse. So let me see, where am I? Scorpio being a water sign, it's very psychic, very intuitive. It can be very drawn to Moon and Scorpio individuals can be very drawn to anything that is dark, anything that is mysterious, anything that has to do with the occult or the darker, more mysterious sides of life. That can be drugs, that can be criminals, that can be anything that is taboo, anything that is sexual, anything that is scary, anything that is occult like, having to do with, mysticism. Moon and Scorpio individuals can be very drawn to that naturally. A lot of Moon and Scorpio individuals, starting from early childhood, they go through a lot of tumultuous ups and downs and even traumatic experiences. And I've even noticed that a lot of Moon and Scorpio individuals, they actually have sexual experiences very, very early on, and a lot of those sexual experiences for Moon and Scorpio individuals early in their childhood, it was traumatizing, so I have seen Moon and Scorpio individuals deal with, sexual abuse in their childhood, or just discovering their sexuality very, very early, whether it was through their own exploration or whether because it was once again forced upon them. Let me see. Moon and Scorpio individuals can use sex. It can go either way. So Moon and Scorpio individuals, they can use sex as a way of expressing themselves and as a way of connecting, or they can also use it as a way of avoiding their emotions and avoiding, a deeper connection. It just depends on how evolved that Moon and Scorpio individual is. But some Moon and Scorpio individuals, they can use it to, try and express themselves emotionally and connect emotionally in a healthy way. And then others can use it as a manipulative tool, as a way to control and as a way to avoid or run away from their emotions. Moon and Scorpio individuals have a need for excitement. They have a need for control, and they can have a hard time letting go when it's not on their terms, because Scorpio is the catalyst for change and transformation, but they want it on their terms. So that's where that whole it being hard to let go, or being hard to let go of control, because they want to be once again in control of how this change happens, or when and what they're letting go of. They can be attracted to darker type people, once again, drug addicts, criminals, people who are hard to get to know, people who carry a certain level of darkness or mystery about them. Scorpios in their lower, Moon and Scorpio individuals in their lower vibration, they can be very territorial, very possessive, very manipulative, dishonest, and just secretive. Because of the scorpionic nature of wanting change and wanting transformation, whether the Moon and Scorpio individual is aware of it or not, they have a need for catharsis. They have a need to reinvent themselves or reinvent a situation. They have a need to just change shit up, switch shit up, because they need that excitement. They need that, catharsis. It's whether they're aware of it or not, it's a deep emotional need for them to purge and regenerate and renew things, and in some way, shape, or form transform or heal themselves or the people around them. And I've noticed that a lot of people with scorpionic energy, period, they have a very transformative effect and impact on people, for better or for worse, whether they're intending to or not. People who carry a lot of Scorpio energy can change people for the better or for the worse, without even trying. If the Moon and Scorpio individual is not evolved, they can be overcome by their own demons, their own shadow, because once again there could be an energy of running away from it because their emotions are very overwhelming. Mind you, Scorpio is a fixed sign, so it's very easy for them to become fixated and stubborn and unyielding, and I forgot my train of thought, but it's very easy for them to succumb to their demons, because they're overwhelmed by how emotional and sensitive they can be. And a lot of times Moon and Scorpio individuals can view that as a weakness, hence why they don't like to be vulnerable, why they like to maintain a certain level of distance so they can maintain control, even though they want to know the ins and outs and the darkness and the secrets of people around them. They don't let too many people get to know those nuances about themselves. A lot of Moon and Scorpio individuals can be very distrusting naturally. And that's also something that a lot of the time starts in childhood, and it could have to do with the mother for a lot of them. Let me see, am I missing anything? Oh, Moon and Scorpio individuals, people with heavy Scorpio energy, they have a way of drawing out intense emotions and reactions in other people, whether that's fear, whether that's being intimidated, whether that's love, whether that's hate. I find that there is no middle ground with how people feel about Scorpio individuals, Moon and Scorpio individuals. You either love them or you hate them. There's never any lukewarm in between type of feelings. So yes, Moon and Scorpio individuals, heavy Scorpio individuals can become the canvas for other people's projections, where people feel a certain way towards them regardless of whether or not they should. It's their own personal issues, hence a projection. Let me see what else. And their high vibration Moon and Scorpio individuals, once again, because they have such an emotional range, and because a lot of times they've been through so much tumultuous shit and ups and downs, they have deep empathy and sensitivity to what other people have gone through or what other people are feeling. They know how to read people. They know how to dissect people and situations and figure out what makes them tick. And so in its highest vibration, that can make them very good at being counselors, psychologists, healers, helping people to get through traumatic experiences, such as domestic abuse, sexual violence, trauma, anything intense that normal people would shy away from. Scorpio individuals, Moon and Scorpio individuals especially, because that's your emotional nature, your spiritual nature, it's very easy for them to tap into those gifts that they have and be able to heal and transform other people. Moon and Scorpio individuals, they absolutely need an outlet, because some of them can have a tendency to suppress their emotions, and they'll ignore it, and they'll push it down, they'll push it down. Once again, going back to that volcano analogy, they'll push it down so much that when it comes out, it's explosive, and it can be very scary, because Moon and Scorpio individuals are very intense without trying. Because of that intuitive ability, they have a way of understanding what's not seen and understanding what isn't being said. They can be very fluent in the subtext or the nuances of a person or a situation, even if you never tell them. So they can be natural detectives and investigators, so they can definitely work in like forensics and criminal investigation, being a cop, being a detective. They can work in fields, like I said earlier, darker fields. They can be morticians, because once again, death, funeral homes, I would say even surgery, because they're co-ruled by Mars. So that Mars and Pluto energy can definitely make them not afraid of blood and gory things. So that can be an expression of Moon and Scorpio individuals as well. Their Moon and Scorpio individuals can be very moody, very, very moody, and they can be very scary when they're mad. Like, oof, it's so typical to say, but there's just something about a Moon and Scorpio when they're mad that can be very like off-putting, because you don't know when or how they're going to reel it in. And Moon and Scorpio individuals can hold grudges, so you just never know what you're going to get when they're mad, because you don't know what their cutoff point is. Very sensitive. They can be very loyal, committed, devoted. They're very passionate individuals, ambitious, and they need intimacy. But they have a way of trying to control intimacy, which kind of takes away from how intimate they can get with other people, because once again, they like to know everything about other people and figure things out about other people, but they don't really allow people close enough. They don't allow people a close enough look into themselves to be able for it to be a mutual intimacy. So they'll know everything about you, but you won't really know as much about them, if at all. Moon and Scorpio individuals, they're very perceptive, very observant, and once again, I think I already said they have a hard time letting go. It has to be on their terms. Let me see. They're very strong. They have a lot of inner strength, even when they're not aware of it. They can be confrontational when provoked, and sometimes even when they're not provoked, because once again, that Mars energy that they're co-ruled by in traditional astrology, Mars is the primary ruler of Scorpio, because Pluto wasn't discovered until way after. So that Mars energy, once again, just like Aries, can be very confrontational, but with Scorpio energy, it's just more calculated and it can be, you know, a little bit more scary because it's stealth and you maybe don't see it coming. They hate dishonesty. Even if they themselves are dishonest, they do not like liars, and they're very good at detecting lies. They have wonderful BS detectors because they just have a natural intuitive psychic ability about them when they're tapped in. But actually I feel like even the lower vibrational Scorpios or moon and Scorpios can be very intuitive, because the moon is naturally intuitive, Scorpio is naturally intuitive. It's just that, you know, the lower vibrational expression of moon and Scorpio or Scorpio individual, they can just use their intuition and abilities for, you know, negative reasons, such as coercion, manipulation, maintaining control, you know. They have an all or nothing mentality. So just how there are no lukewarm feelings about a moon in Scorpio or Scorpio dominant individual, they also have that mentality in regards to life, and how they do things and how they approach things. It's all or it's nothing. It's my way or it's the highway. Once again, it's a fixed sign, so it makes it very unyielding. It makes it very stubborn. And fixed signs, all of them can be very fixated in their own way. So yes, moon and Scorpio individuals are very prone, once again, to reinventing themselves, because there's a need to transform, there's a need to change, there's a need for catharsis, there's a need for them to purge, and they just have to find a healthy outlet to do that, so that they don't become self-destructive. Because a lot of moon and Scorpio individuals, as they mature, they have to grow out of being self-destructive. They have to, you know, evolve into using healthier outlets, like not escaping through conflict, not escaping through sex. They have to find out a way to battle their inner demons in a productive way, so that they don't downward spiral. Because once again, Pluto, Scorpio energy ruling the dark side of things in a darker nature, in the shadow, a moon in Scorpio or Scorpio dominant individual can be very good at being a criminal, being someone who operates, you know, out of their darkness. Adding to that, the sense of humor I've noticed of moon and Scorpio individuals is very dry. It's very sarcastic. It can even be dark humor, very cynical. I find it amusing most of the time, but it can be off-putting to people who don't understand the language of a moon in Scorpio or a Scorpio dominant individual. Let me see. I would say that moon and Scorpio individuals, Scorpio heavy individuals, they have a fear of abandonment and a fear of betrayal. Hence their trust issues, hence their ability to, hence their trust issues, and the fact that they're very distrusting and can be very suspicious of people very easily. They may even lead with that, which can make them come off very cynical or having a negative outlook. Once again, on the flip side, moon and Scorpio individuals, because once again they have such a range and depth of emotions, they can be very empathetic and healing and a transformative energy and rock for other people. It's just a matter of how evolved they are and if that's something that they want to be or become. Moon and Scorpio individuals are all about their independence. They don't want to rely on people typically. Okay, and I think now I'm gonna get into the mother and their relationship with her as a child. Very introspective. Most all three of the water signs have introspective tendencies. They just do it in a different way. Let me see, what else did I put here? Just make them stubborn, strong-willed. Got that. Okay, so on to their mother, their relationship with their mother, early childhood. So once again, the relationship between a moon and Scorpio individual and their mother, it was most likely intense, for better or for worse. On the good side, it can reflect and show a very deep psychic connection with the mother, and a deep attachment, even to the point of having like separation anxiety with their mother in their early childhood. On the flip side, and I will also state more positive expressions of the Moon and Scorpio relationship with their mother as I think of them. I'm just trying to follow my notes. So on the flip side, the mother could have been very controlling or obsessive in regards to the Moon and Scorpio child. Even in some scenarios, the mother could have been jealous of the child, especially if the child was a girl. So there could have been, power control issues, like a constant tug and pull between the mother and daughter, because, maybe the mother was resentful of being a mother, or was somehow, some way jealous of their kid, or just wanted to control them too much. The mother could have been manipulative in some cases, because Scorpio, Pluto energy, it does rule manipulation. Let me see. Okay, done with that part. Oh, I think I already said that their early childhood could have been very up and down, very tumultuous. Just once again, them not feeling safe as a child, to the point where they withdrew and they just became very self-protective and guarded and afraid of vulnerability. Let's see what else. The mother actually could have been absent in some cases, whether that was due to being deceased, or other complicated scenarios that will cause the mother to be emotionally unavailable or even physically absent. So the Moon and Scorpio individual could have felt abandoned by their mom. The mother, if she was around, could have came off as a mystery to the Moon and Scorpio individual. Even if their relationship was good, there could have still been an element of mystery to how they seen their mom. And there could have been a lot of tough love in regards to how their mother raised them. So maternal affection, nurturing, soft Cancerian energy is maybe something that they're not really familiar with, growing up. Whether it's because it was missing altogether, or just because the maternal affection and nurturing was just inconsistent. Once again, leading the mother to be a mystery. And let me see, I already said they could have had separation anxiety with their mom as a child, feeling abandoned. Even as a child, Moon and Scorpio individuals need a certain level of privacy and solitude, and the mother could have been very intrusive or invasive on that, either due to control, or once again maybe the child was a mystery to the mom, and in the mother's attempt to understand her child and give her child what she needs, the Moon and Scorpio child could have received that as her being too intrusive, too controlling, too invasive on their privacy. So somehow, some way, the mother can just come off very overbearing and smothering in her own way, whether it's because of her control issues or because she's just trying to give her child everything that she needs. It comes off obsessive a lot of the times to the Moon and Scorpio individual, which as they get older, that either impacts them and it can make them become more withdrawn and fearful of their mother, or it can make them become very rebellious. Okay, so it just depends on other aspects. It depends on the person, the situation, etc. Once again, for better or for worse, the Moon and Scorpio's mother has a way of getting under their skin, and if not the mother herself having a way of getting under the skin, the topic of the Moon and Scorpio individual's mother can get under their skin. So let's say in the scenario of a deceased or an absent mother, it's a sore subject, or with the presence of the mother, it's still a sore subject because the relationship itself is just complicated and messy, leading me to say that the karma can be very messy and heavy between a Moon and Scorpio child and mother. It's not cut and dry, it's not black and white. While the moon in Scorpio typically has a lot of love for their mother, there could also be a deep resentment there, or a need for distance, because once again, it's like the moon in Scorpio mother didn't understand boundaries. And that can be a theme that continues from early childhood into adulthood. Let me see. The mother was most likely, please substitute mother for your caregiver, but the mother could have definitely been a disciplinarian for the child, strict disciplinarian. My way or the highway type. Could have definitely had that kind of mother, because once again, Scorpio energy is fixed, it's stubborn, it's unyielding. And let's see, is there anything else? Okay, so I'm closing, almost finished. So to sum it up, the unevolved Scorpio moon would be coercive, manipulative, resentful, holding on to grudges, being spiteful, fighting for control, being very emotionally guarded, can be deceptive. I think I already said manipulative. Just abusing their power in some way, drawing out ugly reactions from other people just because they think it's fun. Taking a lot of self-destructive risk, getting into darker sides of life, criminal activity, taboo sex practices, anything that can be murky waters. The unevolved Scorpio can naturally be drawn to that. It can be self-destructive in those ways. I would say methods of emotional regulation and healthy coping for Moon and Scorpio individuals would be journaling, meditation, going to a psychologist via therapy, and being near water. Maybe learning about healing arts and physical exercise, because once again, Moon and Scorpio individuals, they need an outlet. They need to purge on a cyclical, periodic basis. The shadow work of a Moon and Scorpio individual is very, very intense. Very intense. And let me see what else. I would also say, back to the psychic and intuitive thing, Moon and Scorpio individuals, they can have very intense, vivid dreams, maybe even prophetic. So what else? Yeah, from what I've seen and read of Moon and Scorpio individuals, they normally did not have very stable, warm, consistent childhoods. There was most likely a lot of ups and downs and a lot of tumultuous experiences or traumatic experiences that they went through starting from an early age, and they carry the wounds of that into adulthood, typically leaving them to be afraid of vulnerability, to needing control, needing independence, needing space, and so on and so forth. Yes, and I would say sexual healing is a thing for Moon and Scorpio individuals, if they allow themselves to explore the spiritual side of sex more, as opposed to a defense mechanism or control tactic or anything like that. They can actually be it could be very good for them to get into tantric sex and just understanding sex and utilizing it from a metaphysical standpoint, as opposed to a self-destructive one. So I hope that this resonated. I hope that it made sense. If you feel like I left anything out, please leave it in the comments. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Help me with the algorithms, share, follow, subscribe, all of that wonderful stuff, and I will see you sooner rather than later with my next astrology video. And thank you for watching. Mwah.